Welcome back, everyone. It's Marina from the jungle. And for those of you who've been following the spider bite story, my face is finally not looking as swollen. The spider bite has gone. Delighted to say no permanent damage, in case you're worried about me. So it's all gone. So I'm pretty much back to just my normal old scruffy self without any, spider fang marks on my cheek. That was wild. That was a ridiculous episode in my life. Anyway, you're not here to hear about the spider bite. You're here to explore with me some of the lesser known features of the jungle. And the one I've decided to share with you today is the feature whereby freelancers, when they have completed a gig, are able to provide feedback on the client and let us know how the client behaved in supporting them. It is an incredibly useful insight for us as the facilitators, or the ones who oversee the marketplace. It really gives us a sense of what's going on both sides. So first of all, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you where it is, where and how you can rate clients. All right, so what we've got here is a landing page that most of you would be very familiar with. But if you jump up here onto the toolbar and you scoot down to reviews, and you rapidly I'm just going to push past my review section. But if you scroll down, and you'll see these two sections at the bottom. One is manage my reviews, which we've picked up on a different tutorial before around how you actually manage your own reviews and where they appear. But this is the one I want to show you, the company reviews. So underneath that, under your own personal reviews will be a section where your finalized gig will appear for you to review. Now this covers volunteer work, paid work, internships, all of it. They all appear under this section. And if you've got a bunch pending, like I seem to have, I don't know why, I've got an admin level, so I seem to have a very high level, or you've got a couple of things that you need to do, it will appear up here and you'll get lots of cool alerts. So let's have a look at these reviews. So when you click on here, you get the chance to provide feedback across these different areas. The first one is clarity. We're really keen to see clients provide strong clarity for the Gigsters. We know that the better the instruction, the better the engagement, the better the outcome. So we keep an eye on that. We're really interested in how that connection works, how responsive they are. I wish I had $1 for every time I've seen talented people with a well-meaning and purposeful gig go to utter crap because someone has stopped being responsive. So it's not like quite ghosting, but it's just slow, or I don't know, it's not good though. So we do keep an eye on responsiveness to make sure everything's ticking along at the right momentum. Challenges. There is an Italian saying that says you never know a friend until you have a fight with them. And you never know how good a client is or a situation is until an obstacle or a challenge emerges. This is the moment that a lot of Gigsters may feel disappointed or frustrated with their client. For us, it's really interesting to see how clients deal with obstacles, to frame out the way that we can position it for future freelancers. Trust. This incredibly fragile but wildly powerful and strong element called trust. This is a real cultural thing. We have a few clients that just don't come across as very trustworthy. Don't worry, we don't prioritise them. In the main, we're super lucky that I'd say the vast majority of our clients and their cultures and their people are really, really trustworthy, and it's inherent. Trust equals psychological safety, and then also builds better relationships that can deal with challenges and obstacles. But trust is a really, really interesting thing. But we ask you, how trustworthy do you think the people are? Because it helps us to ultimately help, the whole community. And the last one is this nebulous, incredibly personal assessment around culture. This is quite a personal assessment because not every culture is suitable for everyone. But, I'll use an example. We've got one client who has had, I reckon, about 10 Gigsters over the years do work for them in a variety of different areas, from risk and audit to technical to soft skill, all these different things, right? Everybody in the freelancer community who is lucky enough to engage with them talks about how inclusive, strong, beautiful, trustworthy this culture is. It's really interesting that whatever their magic ingredient is at this client's place, it's working. It's working. We have clients who don't enjoy that level of feedback, shall we say, but the magnetism and the loyalty and the support, on a commercial level, this translates to freelancers not just going over and above because they feel a sense of connection to the client, but they actually do extra hours for free. Like, that's actually how far this culture that is magnetic comes to. And I think the nice part about it on that front, a lot of the people in that client area, they don't exploit it and they don't exploit freelancers. So there's this real, I don't know, it's a very mature, dignified, cool culture. Anyway, enough of that. So what you have these different you get to provide feedback on there, and it's just a simple star rating, 1 being dreadful, 5 being amazing. All right, so this one here is one of my clients. I am unashamedly in love with this client. I've worked with them for years. Prime Super, big call out to Prime Super. And when I finished a piece of work for them, implementing a continual improvement framework with a bit of training and giving them some KPIs and what have you, and came up, what do you think of the client? And I went through these questions and it just completely stuck with me how incredibly lucky I was to work with this client. And they're just amazing. You will see here, I just love this client so much. They're clear, they're responsive, they deal with challenges in a way. Their CEO has now become like my spirit animal. That's how much I enjoy working with this client. And culture and trust were just amazing. So hopefully you're going to have an experience like that too, where you just fall hopelessly in love with your client, and these feedback and this reviews process is like, the full stop after a really cool experience. At the end of the review, you asked, would you work with this company again? Now, let's do a little pivot and talk about bad experiences, because just the law of numbers says you're going to have a few bad experiences. I unfortunately had one recently where I was asked to do some work for a client, a stakeholder group, whatever you want to call it. And basically they failed on every one of these metrics. They were unclear, they were ambiguous, they were incredibly slow, like months to get, you heard right, months to get things resolved. Challenges, wow. I saw challenges as soon as something didn't go the way of, an influential person, it just like instantly devolved into a personal attack. Like, it was hilarious how poorly run this area was. Trust, no surprise there was no trust, and I couldn't have hightailed out of there quick enough. The culture, it was, I think on a good day you'd call it everyone was agreeing to be a sycophant. On a bad day you'd say it was toxic and very risky. But it was for us as facilitating the platform and trying to match people up. It's really important we get these honest insights, because when clients are looking for top premium amazing people, they're always going to put their best foot forward. And I think we always walk in with a very positive, give everyone the benefit of the doubt perspective. But when we're seeing multiple freelancers with different areas of expertise reporting back that this client has got some serious issues across these very basic areas around conduct, it can trigger a discussion for us where we go, is this an area we want to focus on? If we've got a bunch of freelancers saying, I don't want to work with these guys anymore, it's not worth it, we would actually bounce a client. I can absolutely categorically say if we're getting a persistent level of poor feedback. For clients, clients never get to see this too. It's like real secret jungle business where it's for us in the community to share it amongst ourselves, and for us as your community facilitators or whatever we're called, to make sure that you're being cared for. So that's it, friends. One of my favourite features has a whole lot more integrity than Glassdoor or any of those other tell us about the business, type of things. This is not a bias towards disgruntled employees. This is, in fact, a whole lot of work that's been used productively for everyone's sake. And it has a purpose. It's not just a whinge for all. All right, that's it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for all the emails and the funny texts about the spider bite too. I really appreciate that. That was ridiculous. It was right there for those of you watching any of the other videos. And my whole little face was like a little moon. It was crazy. I don't know. And I think it was probably more disgusting the thought of a spider sitting on my face while I was sleeping. Anyway, friends, on that positive note, have a great day out there. Have fun in the jungle, and we will see you soon. Bye.